So this is a new mini project that I am going to make with you today. You can make this with me. You can just opt in on the link below and the files will be sent to you automatically. Now, what is this? I call this a library folio. If you have a lot of books and you lend them out from time to time or people borrow them, in this you can keep a little administration. Let me show you. So it looks like this, the back looks like this. It all has to do with books and butterflies. Very beautiful. You don't have to use it like I do. You can use it to put other stuff in, of course, as well. So this is what it looks like. I open it up. Here's a little pocket as well. And this is what it looks like on the inside. On the bottom, it has a little extendable pocket here, which holds 3 beautiful file folders, like these. And in here are stored the library pockets and the library cards. And let me show you how it works. It actually works like the library used to work when I was a little kid, with date stamps, etc. But here's how it works. Say you have a book. By the way, this is the funniest person in the world, approximately. You want to lend it out to a friend of yours. The idea is that your books that you lend out have this glued inside. Of course, if you don't want to glue it, tuck it in there somewhere. But the idea is that this pocket stays with the book. And then, normally, in your library, it has a... Oh, there's 2. 2's too many. 1's enough. That there's a card in there, always. You write the title on top and the author. And when someone wants to borrow this book, you can write the borrower's name here. And optionally, if you want it back by a certain date, the date due right here. And then, if that person borrows it, you keep the card in your administration. You can keep it in here or in one of the file folders. You also write a return date on here as well. It's also handy to have your name in the book as well, so that the borrower knows whose book this is. Then anyway, the borrower knows by which date you would like it back. And when you get it back, you can just put the card back in the book back into your library, in your bookcase. And when the next person wants to borrow it, you just write their name on the following line and a date due, etc, etc, etc. It's actually cute because then you know like who of your friends already have read this book when, etc. It's actually quite a nice memento. So that's how it works. So, and everything you see in here is included in the printables that you get. Of course, mine is the book's mine. So, and now I'm going to show you how to assemble this beautiful little booklet. And of course you can put other stuff in there as well. You don't have to use it like it was intended. Use it like you want to. There, pretty. And now I have a bit of a request. I noticed with the previous 3 projects that I shared on YouTube that a lot of crafters, beginners and experts shared their results on their social media. I love that. So please doing that on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, you name it. And please use this time when you're making this project, the hashtag couldn't resist in this project. And then I can find it anywhere. So if you finish this one, please take pictures, share them all around on your social media with the hashtag couldn't resist in this project. And so, before you can actually make it, I need to show you how to make it. Let's do that right now. So there are 12 pages in total. It's quite a lot. I really had to restrain myself here, plus 2 back designs. And they all have a page number, and the first 6 ones also have the phrase print on back of back design. That means when you've printed these 6 first pages, actually, I'm going to show this one later, you turn them around in your printer and you print one of the back designs on the back. That means that the back won't be super stark white, but it will have a bit of the same hue or color as well. And these ones I actually printed on the bluish back design instead of the pink one, just because the colors would match a bit better. But of course you do what you want. And all the rest of the pages, 7 to 12, don't need a back design at all. I printed all these on 160 grams paper. I wouldn't recommend printing them on regular paper, which is 80 grams. And I also wouldn't recommend on printing them on heavier paper, otherwise things won't fit anymore in there. So if you have like 120 or 160 grams paper or something in between, I think that would be brilliant. Okay, and of course, like all of my mini projects, the first thing that needs to be done is, you can guess it, cut it all out. I'm gonna do that right now and come back to you. Okay, I cut everything out, and here are all the pieces that I have right here. So for these corners, I use the corner punch, but you can just simply use your scissors, of course, just follow the lines. And for the bigger and smaller circles, I used a 1-inch circle punch and a 5/8 inch circle punch. And I ever so slightly, very lightly, use an ink and and an ink blender, just a brownish tone. This is Vintage Photo, just to hide the white edges. And if you cut a bit next to the line, you see a bit of white. This is excellent to hide that, but just very lightly this time. And now it's time to assemble. And the first two pieces that I need are, of course, at the bottom of this pile. That wasn't smart. These two big pieces, I think they're on page 1 and 2. There. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to score all these lines. I have my scoreboard here, but of course you can use a scoring tool or an empty pen and a ruler. Just be as accurate as you can. Oh yes, I printed everything on 100%. Of course, you can make it a bit smaller and print it at the option fit to page or something similar that your printer options say, but make sure everything is printed at that size, of course. So I'm gonna just fold all these lines. Well, and if you're asking yourself, hey, what are all these white squares here? Well, that's where the panels will go on. And we're gonna cover that, so that doesn't need any ink. And if you then ask, hey Tina, why didn't you put already the design on top? Now I have to glue it on top. Well, first, gluing is fun. And second of all, then it makes this paper a lot more sturdy. The whole craft will be a lot sturdier. Sturdier. Okay, so I have scored these lines, and now it's time to fold them. And everything will be folded inside. I'm gonna take my bone folder here. A bone folder is optional, but I like crisp lines and it's so handy. Oops, see? Yes, these are a little bit tricky, a little bit. I'm just being clumsy here because it's only 1/8 of an inch apart here. See? This gusset is only 1/8 of an inch wide. Okay, these. These as well, all the folds just go inside. And then I'm going to attach these to each other. So this one has a little tab on this side. I'm going to put some tape on top and glue that up. And this will be the base of this folio. Okay, I am using double-sided tape. You can definitely use just glue. The size of tape that I'm using is, I think it is about 3/8 of an inch, about 9 millimeter wide. But you can definitely use smaller ones. There. And when I have this with glue or tape, then I'm going to line up this and I'm going to make sure this piece comes right next to the fold. Not on the fold, but next to the fold. And when you're sure, just glue it. And then we're gonna give these some side flaps. And for that we need these two. Again, first some scoring. Yeah, I usually use anything I have close by to score these lines. There. Again, fold. Now I'm going to put some tape on this tab again and glue them in there. So same process. Oh yeah, the tape, as wide as or as narrow you have it, put it again against the fold. It's okay if there's a little bit of paper here that's not covered with glue. So usually I even use this very thin one, and then there's like this piece of paper left. That's okay. There should be tape on that side next to the fold. That's very important. Or glue, of course. Can't forget about my gluers. There. Same here. There. Then I'm going to remove this tape. Put this aside for a bit. Yeah, I'm gonna lay it flat like this. And now, very important, make sure to attach this flap or these flaps on the piece that is closest to the rounded flap, because this piece is equally as large, but then you have to start over. Don't put them on this side with the square flap, but on the side with the rounded flap here. So I'm just gonna lift that up and line that up, and right next to the fold, glue it. There we go. Same on the other side. There. And now we have this cross-like thingy, and we're gonna attach all the panels on here. And I'm gonna show you which panels they are. So on the top flap, we're gonna use this panel. Well, make sure you don't put it upside down, because the flap is gonna go the other way like this. But luckily it all has rounded corners, so you know where to go. And I'm simply going to use a glue stick here, but you can use a tape runner or double-sided tape or other glue, of course. Here's my glue paper thing. And I'm simply going to add glue on the back. There. And glue it in place, like right in the center. You can eyeball it. It has about 1/8 of an inch all around, so it's a bit smaller, like this. I'm just gonna glue all these on, and then you can see which ones go where. So this is going to be the back of the project. This one goes here. Yeah, it feels like I'm putting this on upside down, but it's gonna be upside down. It's gonna be turned upside down like this again, you know. This. And this also upside down. This. So these are the 6 panels. So these 3 are upside down, these 3 are straight. And this is optional. I'm going to, in the center, punch half a circle here. I'm gonna first mark the center. It's very tempting to not mark it, but I'm just gonna be sure. Here's my center, and I'm going to punch half a circle here. And add a bit of ink here to hide that I cut something off. I'm gonna turn this one around. There are 2 more flaps here, and these will hold the library cards and pockets in place, because otherwise they will fall out. So again, I'm gonna score these lines. Fold. And again, I'm gonna put some tape on these tabs. Again, right next to the fold, not on the other side. There should not be a gap between the glue and the fold. There, I'm gonna start with the big one. The big is the top flap. There. Now I'm going to fold this already. I'm gonna line up the fold and put it right next to this second fold here. Not the top one, but the second one. Like this. I'm gonna do exactly the same. This one, but on the bottom. This. Put it right next to this fold right here. And then these two will hold these cards in place, you know. And now first I'm going to, let me score these lines first a little bit. I'm going to close this pocket here. And for that I have these cute little side pieces, these two. And I need some more scoring here. I'm gonna score all these 3 lines. I'm gonna fold them like an accordion. So out, in, out, both of them. Out, in, out. And I'm gonna put again tape on these 2 tabs. And all this can be done with glue. You don't need tape. I just want to keep saying, yes, you can use glue throughout the whole project. It's just another way of working. It's what you prefer. It's what you like. As long as it sticks. See? Oh. It's because I'm doing this on this board instead of on the table, you know. But that's okay, you won't see that anyway, that I tore a little piece off there. Just gonna add a bit of ink here and no one will ever know. Well, you guys will know. I'm gonna start with 1, remove the tape. Well, I'm gonna start with removing 1 tape. And now, just use your hands a little bit here. I'm going to, how can I say it? Oh yeah. I'm going to line this up, this folding line, with the edge here. See? Top to bottom. Make sure you don't glue it on this, you don't glue it as far as this fold, but really this fold. And then remove the other backing. Fold it in. And just close the pocket and make sure these 2 line up. So this fold lines up with the back of the pocket. And do the same on the other side. This is maybe a little bit more fiddly, and it's best to make sure it's done straight. There we go. Well, everything should be straight. Well, I'm saying everything should be straight. I choose to do everything super straight. But if you choose to do everything like super wonky, go for it. Really, I mean, that's your aesthetic. Who am I to say how other people should make something? Okay, this is lined up, so this pocket is actually ready. The next thing I'm going to do is attach the side panels on the inside. And for those, I have these lovely, images right here. Again, I'm gonna put some glue on the back and I'm just gonna glue them in place. There we go. Okay, at this stage I'm just going to add some inking on the inside. Should have done that sooner, but I can still do it, I don't mind. I also do not want to overdo it. And this is a personal choice, of course. If you want to choose like a whole other color, please go for it. If you have a nice dark lavender, for example, here or so. I don't know what that's gonna give. It wasn't very clean right here, but hey, it's okay. With the paneling on later, it'll probably be super all right. And I encourage all of you to just embrace your little mistakes or what you think are mistakes. Maybe people say, hey, there's nothing wrong there. Yeah, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, as you might have already discovered. Okay, the next thing that we need to do is to put the outside panels on these two flaps. There are these two. These two are meant for this one and this one for this one. Well, it'll be the other way around. Okay. Again, the same. This is not a hard project, actually. Glue, put in place. There. And this will come like this. And now I'm going to attach some closure circles. I'm going to attach one closure circle here, and I'm going to attach one here and one here. And for that, I need these three circles. And I'm first going to make them a bit stronger. Now, people who have been following me for a while know what I'm going to do right now. Feel free to skip, but I'm going to explain it quickly so everybody can follow. I'm going to add 2 layers of extra sturdy scrapbook paper underneath, so they're extra sturdy. And I actually already have these, a lot of these pre-cut in place because these are sizes that I use all the time. So this is just scrap pieces of sturdy scrapbook paper. I need 2 for this one. Just going to glue 2 on top of each other. Doesn't matter what they look like, you won't see them, they just make things extra sturdy. And then on top, I will glue the actual circle from the kit. This, there, let this dry for a bit. I'm gonna do that with all of these. And then a bit of ink on the edges to make it all blend in. There. And then I am going to punch a hole in the center of each of these. You can do that with a sharp needle, a big needle or something, or there are very small hole punches as well. There. And now I'm going to see where I want them. On these 2 small ones, I want them in the center, about 5/8 of an inch from this edge of this flap. I think that's about here. Center is 3 1/4 and then 5/8 of an inch. That is right here. So I'm gonna punch a hole there. I'm also going to punch a hole also 5/8 of an inch from this edge. I think that's about right. One here, one here. I'm happy with that. Maybe a bit lower. Yeah, I'm gonna put it a bit lower. Look, this is personal preference, you know. There. So I'm going to punch a hole right there. And here as well. And I think I'm gonna use gold brads. I have these. Gonna use 2 tiny, oh, I have right what I need. I'm gonna use 2 tiny ones for the small circles and a bigger one for the big circle. So what I'm gonna do is brad through this, and then I have this handy tool, just a piece of chipboard with a slot cut out slide this on through the hole in our projects, and then and then you can open the legs. Actually even going to put a piece of tape on top so it doesn't damage the panel on top. Then I can slide this out and we have room enough here to add a piece of string later. I'm gonna do exactly the same with the one on the top flap. And for the one on the front flap, I'm going to take the bigger one and I want it about here. Again, I'm gonna find the center and about, I think, I'm gonna put it right here. I think in the previous one I put it a bit lower, but I'm gonna put it like in this little circly void between the books here. So I'm gonna put a mark here and then check if it's actually in the middle. Wow, that's actually done perfect. There. And I'm gonna attach the circle in exactly the same way. Brad through the circle, through the tool, through the flap, open the legs, and now you can really bend because that piece of chipboard is in between. And a piece of tape. And get it out. There, our circles are attached. And now it's very easy. We're going to attach the inner panels here. This one will go in here. Gonna add some glue again. And again, 1/8 of an inch all around. Gonna fold it over so I can squeeze here. There, and now the whole back of this closure has been hidden. I'm gonna do exactly the same with these two. Put it in place. I'm gonna turn around and then I can actually, squeeze a bit here. There, and now the bottom one. The bottom one has this one. There. And now I'm going to add an extra pocket here. Now it's going to be turned upside here, so I'm gonna add a little pocket right here. That's this one, and very easily I'm gonna use tin tape this time, and I'm gonna put some glue or tape here, here, here. If you're using glue, just a small bead right at the edge. I'm gonna use this 1/4 inch of tape here. There is thinner tape. I actually have thinner tape, but this will do the trick as well. Just on the bottom and the sides, and anything you put in there will be caught because there's a bit of tension. And if you like, you can cut out half a circle again. And this pocket lines up perfectly with the panel. There you go. Now we have a little pocket right here. And now it is time to assemble the card holders that come here. So these are the 2 card holders, and if you look, they're not equally as large. One is a bit wider than the other one, and that is because the pockets will be bigger, and they need a bit more room. And then you can say, yeah, why don't make both of them bigger? Well, then the cards will fall out pretty easily, and this one is a bit smaller, so the cards will actually fit in there. But the way to assemble these both is just the same. So I'm going to show you with this one. There are 6 scoring lines, so I'm going to score all these. Gonna fold them all inside and use my ball folder again. There. Then I'm going to put some tape. Well, you can actually choose. You can put tape on the front of these two tabs and glue them like this. But then your cards might get stuck in this piece. And since we're going to glue this in anyway, I am going to glue these tabs behind here. And then nothing will be in the way when you're trying to put some cards in here. That's just how I see it, but you can assemble them as you like. But so for once, I'm going to put my tape on the back of the tab and not the front. Again, against the fold. It's okay if there's some left. Okay, and then, this is a bit fiddly, but very important. Line up this edge with the second fold here. Really line it up. And only when that fits in there snugly, you can close it. And then, see, no, I didn't do it correctly, you know? See, there's a bit of a gap here. So I'm gonna leave it like this, but do a better job than I do, because that wasn't very good. So again, make sure this edge is snugly inside that fold, especially on the bottom. And when you're sure, close it. Much better. It's actually not that bad. There. And I'm going to assemble this one exactly the same. There. And now I have my two pockets done. And I'm going to glue them next to each other in here. And actually, if I push them next to each other, there's like 1/8 of an inch on both sides left. I'm going to position them and going to go like 1/4 of an inch about from the fold. And I'm just going to hold this one and make a line, you won't see it, to know where to put it. And I'm just going to put tape all over the back and put these in place. Make sure not to squeeze them this way. I think it actually might be easier to use glue here instead of tape. You know what? I'm gonna remove this tape. And just add a bit of glue here. There, then it will be sturdy as well. And then I'm gonna put it in place right here, about this from the side against that mark. There we go. Yeah, make sure not to squeeze it. It's best to just put something narrow in there. Then put this next to it and glue in place. There we go. And now we have these card pockets for the library cards. And to assemble these, well, I'm first going to score the 3 lines here. Oh yes, I was going to say, there are only 2 on page 9, but of course you can put, I think, up to 4 in here. So print that page 9 twice. You can print page 9 and page 6 as many times as you like for the pockets and the cards. There you go. So, and it's gonna come like this again. Since this is supposed to be glued inside a book, it's a good idea to put these flaps behind there. If you don't want to do that, and if you think that's ugly, you can definitely put the glue the flaps before here. But before I'm gonna glue this, I'm going to add some ink here, 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 here. I find it a bit unnecessary to print a whole back design if you're only going to see like these few edges here. So I'm just going to add some color here. You can use a lighter color. I think the card will come up to here somewhere. The idea is that we're going to glue this card in place. See, that's perfect. And I'm already going to do that. Okay, just going to glue this return card here with a little bit of an edge here. It's really tiny, like this. There. I think that's more economical than gluing, printing a whole back design. And then I'm going to add some tape, small tape, because these tabs are actually really small. Here. Here. And oh yeah, I should have said, if you're going to glue them on the back, make sure to score the lines really on that side of the fold as much as possible, because then it will be easier to get this around the thickness of the paper. There, and that is one pocket ready, and you can make 3 more of these pockets and they will fit right here in this one. They won't fit in this one because this is smaller for the actual cards. So this project is almost ready. You can make 3 more of these cards, and I think about 4 will just fit in here. Of course, if you want more, there's a lot of room here as well. Yeah, they fit in here rather nicely. And I have here, I think, 6 library cards. They fit in here very nicely. And then to close, I'm going to add a bit of this string here. This is just embroidery thread, quite thick. This is the full thickness. And since I used that piece of chipboard, I now have a comfortable gap to actually put the twine around. Make some knots. Now I'm going to cut off the end here. And I usually do 1, 2, 3 and cut off the excess. Of course, you can always go like this, straight. It's perfectly possible as well. Herein, you can put the file folders. I already scored on the score line and fold them in half. And they each have a tab, front, center and back. They fit in here rather nicely. And then this closes, and now I need to add some twine here. At least double knot. And then to close, if I have only one closure, I usually go around circle and back, around circle and back like this. And the project is done. It is finished. This wasn't too hard to make, wasn't it? And it is so beautiful. I love it so much. Look at that. Like open, open, something here, open, file folders. Well, you've seen it. I just really like it a lot. Okay guys, I hope you really liked this tutorial and the freebies, so you can make this one yourself. If you have friends that might like to make this project as well, you can send the link of the video to them, and then they can watch it as well, you know, or you can make it into a party. And then you can have like a craft party. You can do it even remotely via Zoom or something. And don't forget, if you're sharing these on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever, don't forget the hashtag couldn't resist in this project. Yes, it's quite a mouthful, I know, but then I can see them everywhere and I would love to see them. And furthermore, I wish you a very crafty day. Bye bye.